Hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And Macron, conservatism, France, and the future of Europe. So, I guess I'll get into that in a second. As usual, I am Earthling yada yada yada. I have a couple degrees, got a scholarship to help with that some time ago. I'm an ex-army reservist. What did I do? I quit smoking and I lost a bunch of weight and I take care of my uncle who has dementia. And that's it for me. So it has been in the news for those who listen and pay attention to that kind of thing that Macron, the leader of France, has been pushing certain laws that reduce the freedom of people to wear hijabs, freedom of people to teach, homeschool their kids, etc. And these different measures seem to have a conservative slant to them, and they seem to be part of other conservative measures that he may have also been pushing for the last couple of months. And at first I was thinking, well, hey, this doesn't really make sense. This doesn't really seem right. Of course, one can say that they are targeting people who follow Islam. And I thought, wow, this is really weird and odd that he would be doing that. But the more that, well, I can't say the more, I just thought about it this morning realistically, and this is the conclusion that I came to, that he doesn't probably have very much good popular support, strong popular support in France. What with the Yellow Jacket riots that continued as he tried to, what would the word be, to remove certain regulations with respect to how France handles its employee-employer relationships, to make it easier for people to be fired in order to try to decrease unemployment in France. And this was a complaint that I guess him and many other business-oriented people were making, that France's employment laws are too much in favor of employees, and it's so difficult to fire people, so employers take a very long time or very reluctant to hire anybody. So that might help with to reduce unemployment figures in France. I don't know that might have been the reason why, but I didn't really support weakening it. Not that I'm a French person, but other people in other countries look towards that. Anyway, the whole idea is Macron is not popular, and he needs to get popularity from some source if he's to get reelected. And why not conservatives, seeing as his measures are of a conservative nature, so it's easier for him to lean in that direction than a more liberal direction, for example. But I think that what I was thinking this morning was that the problem is that it's Marie Le Pen is his strongest opponent. That's the opponent that he had a runoff with in the last election. And he can't, and France probably, and European Union probably can't really afford to have her elected, because for one thing, as far as I know, she really supports leaving the European Union, and with France and Germany being the two linchpins of the EU, with the UK already having left the EU, if a leader is elected to one of the two stalwarts of the European Union, it seems much more likely that the EU as a bloc could completely self-destruct. And if the EU were to self-destruct, as a result of Marie Le Pen, I hope I'm getting her name right, triggering that kind of collapse, I don't think it would be good for anybody in Europe. Because right now, European citizens, people were begging to join the EU. Like, I have a friend from North Macedonia. Is it Northern? I have to look that up. I was just looking up countries the other day. And they want to be in the European Union. Turkey wants to be in the European Union. There are lots of places that want to be a member. And the European Union already has its problems with conservative or right-leaning leaders in the EU itself. I think in places like, I hope I'm not getting it wrong, like Poland and other countries where people are not, they're putting things in place that weaken democracy and weaken the political power and strength of other parties. Basically, they're kind of going in reverse. And the EU as a bloc can't really do too much about it because it needs unanimous votes in order to do certain things. I don't even know that it can threaten to kick someone out of the bloc for contravening the laws of the European Union, which seems kind of unfortunate, but everything is evolution, and this European Union may not last. Maybe other people need to see the collapse of one union in order to put stronger measures in place the next time, or the next time after that, or the next time after that, in order for it to last, a couple centuries or something. I don't think the European, well, how can I think that the European Union it's probably from the 60s or the 70s. So that is nowhere near 100 years. Is it? I guess it's closer to more than 50 years at least. Anyway, the situation, as most situations is a complicated one. And it's always a complicated situation. And, I've heard, Muslims calling for people to stop buying French products, for example. And don't get me wrong, I don't really. The way that France treats its colonies, the way that it has supported dictatorships in Africa, for example, the way it's intervened many times in Africa, not for democracy, not for freedom of the people of different African countries that it has a history with. I don't know what the right thing is, but what I can say is that if people push measures that weaken Macron, unfortunately, they may be strengthening the base or the voting people who vote for Marie Le Pen. And Marie Le Pen is not the nicest person. I think a lot of people, and thankfully a lot of people voted, well, I say thankfully in quotes because it seems to me, as someone who has grown up with Western values per se, that one is better than the other. Miss Le Pen seems to be that kind of leader, more Trumpish, more Bolsonaro, more autocratic, if she could pull it off. Maybe not in her first term in France, but certainly, at first blush, as they say, it doesn't seem like a good idea to, in any way, help Miss Le Pen to gain the leadership position in France. And of course, I can't say that I support Macron himself. So it is a difficult dance. It's kind of like supporting Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. The fact that his government wanted to sweep aside any kind of punitive measures against a really not so nice company, because that company employed people, and those votes, they felt that they needed those votes in that particular province in order to maintain their support. It isn't nice. As people say, you hold your nose and tip your, I guess, vote for that person. I don't know what, the euphemism is for voting for somebody, but you hold your nose and vote, I guess, for somebody who is a less worse option, per se. I'm sure many people would have preferred Hillary Clinton, whatever their problems with her would have been, rather than have the last 4 years of Donald Trump. And then, just a little bit extra on the top, where the threat to American democracy, as elucidated by the Capitol riots. I'm sure people, if they had a time machine, they might want to go back and decide to actually go vote for Hillary rather than a third party candidate, for example. Anyway, that's it for me on that. If you'd like to school me, feel free. You can comment. You can share this funny, ridiculous content of mine. You can dislike or like, subscribe, or any of those other means of giving feedback in some way or some form. Always, of course, with the idea of what would you like as feedback if this were your YouTube content. Have a good one. Thank you. Peace.